We are all contextual beings, and for building relationships, we have to understand people for what they are and not for what we want them to be. When I say we are contextual being, what do I mean? I mean simply that we have our own upbringing, we have our own values, we come from different experiences that we have with people, and that is what makes our belief system, that really shapes what we believe about things and people. So we really have to understand people before building helpful and influential relationship with them, because if we don't understand them properly, we won't be able to go along with them for long. Therefore, the longevity of relationship is always at stake without understanding people. When I say we have to understand people, what do I mean? I mean simply understanding people mean recognizing them for what they are, not for what you want them to be, nor for what you think they are, but for what they really are. One of the reasons we criticize people or we are criticized by others is because when we are trying to see things from our perspective only and not from their perspective, when we just hold ourselves into our box of the notion that this has to be the way it is, and we stop learning and we stop appreciating the diversity and we stop encouraging what is offered by the other person through their perspective, that's really become a hindrance for us to get along with people. But understanding people is key point. So we really have to appreciate people for what they are, for what value they can bring, what gifting they can bring in. And this all happens because we are limited in our own shaped box, that we stop admiring the beauty, the worth, and the strength that diversity brings in. We are diversified human beings. We are diversified in our behavior, we are diversified in our attitude, we are diversified in our personality, way of thinking, way of processing things, way of learning, way of interacting with others, way of doing things, and so on and on. List goes on. And we should accept it cheerfully as long as it does not contradict the absolute truth. What do I mean? I mean that if something, some beliefs, and it does not contradict with the absolute truth, that's fine. We have to accept that and we have to appreciate that. When we say absolute truth, if someone say sun sets in the west, right? It's absolute truth, and as long as somebody is not contradicting that truth, we are fine. So is true with our values, so is true with our belief system, so is true with our philosophy, so is true with our comprehending and grasping the ideas of the people. So as long as someone is not contradicting that, we are fine. Some are introverts, some are extroverts, some are hard to make friends, some are easy to make friends, some are very open, some are not very open, and that's okay, because it takes time to invest in relationships to achieve what you want to achieve in those relationships. Without investing time into those relationships, we won't be able to arrive at certain conclusions, and in fact we shouldn't arrive or jump to conclusions without investing time and getting to know the people. The goal should be understanding the people, not imposing our expectations on them to be the way we imagine or we want them to be, because in doing that we are violating their sense of significance. This is very important. When I impose something upon someone, that person become defensive, right? Because we are unconsciously hitting the sense of significance that comes from their personal identity. So what we have to do is we have to learn to listen other people. We have to learn to understand other people. If someone is making a point, we have got to understand them, why that person is making that particular claim or point. We are contextual beings, right? Our thoughts are shaped by our personal experiences. Our conclusions about people are most probably based on personal interaction with the people. As long as something is not absolute, it is okay to be diversified. So what I'm trying to make sure is that we understand people for what they are, not for what we want them to be. We are unified in our motives to serve, honor, love other by showing care, respect, attaching significance to them. So we are one in honoring people, respecting people, but we are diversified for our beliefs. People are always interested in themselves. This is very important key. We have to learn this. People are always interested in them, and if you don't talk to people about them, then you are going to lose people. It is useful technique to learn to have successful relationship with people. People are always interested in themselves, and that's okay.